We know that in the US in particular and around the globe, there are many conversations around Black Lives Matter, around the issues of diversity and inclusion. And you talked about how you're proud about who you are and what you represent and that diversity you bring to the table. So the question is, how did Vimeo decide to respond to Black Lives Matter? And what do you make of this moment of diversity and inclusion?
Yeah, that's a great question. Look, I think it's been a very difficult few weeks, I think, for everybody, w- whether you're just an American or you're a minority, especially if you're Black. Uh, and and if you're a leader, I think this has been a very humbling time because most of the issues we're talking about have been happening and we haven't done enough. And we haven't moved the needle. And there's been a lot of lip service from organizations and companies, and not a lot of action and no results. And I think that's humbling. And so for Vimeo, when I think when sort of the protest started, my initial goal was take care of the company and the team. So we had people hurting internally who were struggling, and everything we were focused on was internal. Are we supporting our employees? Do they feel heard? Do they have the time and space to process and deal with the things that are happening in the world around them? It was very internally focused. The next phase was we don't want to be reactive, but what are the commitments that we can make today as a company? And we did publish those commitments publicly because increased transparency increases our accountability. So we wanted there to be accountability that we were going to do these three things. For Vimeo, our three commitments are to amplify Black voices using the power of our platform, to increase diversity at all levels of our team, especially at the top, and because change often happens at the top. And then the third is to contribute our financial resources to this cause. And so for us, it was really about making those commitments. And then every day it's a journey, right? Every day we have to back up those commitments with actions. And there's been a variety of things that we've done, that we will continue to do, and that we need to do, because we have a role and responsibility. And thus far, it hasn't been enough. So I won't go into it, sort of the details of what Vimeo is doing, but you can find it on our blog. We have published that information. But what I will just say is, I think companies, we have a role and responsibility here. We cannot rely just on, the government, or even at all, in some cases, on the government to solve these problems. So we do have to be proactive. We can't just solve it overnight. So we have to find real substantive ways that are embedded in what we do as a company, and we have to have accountability. And my overall view is, I think what's happening right now is it's tragic, it's sickening, it's all of those things. But I do think that for the first time in a long time, I felt like the level of action is different. It feels different in a way that I'm optimistic can actually move the needle. And so for me and for Vimeo, I think we're just focusing on, let's deliver the goods, just like we would in any other business problem. We would set a goal and we would build a project and program against it, and then we would measure results. And I think that's the approach we're going to try and take here, because we do genuinely believe this is a problem that impacts us as a business and we need to solve it.